Hey friends, let's see uh, MTA Impulse Doppler Radar. Yeah, it's recording. MTA and Pulse Doppler Radar. So what is MTA? It's a moving target indicator. So and Pulse Doppler Radar. So basically, why we will need this? So till last 2 years, we can see that only for fixed targets we had defined the radar equation, right? For find the distances for a fixed target. But actually, in real life, the targets will be moving. So for that, we have to do, we need some we need to reconstruct the equations. So in this chapter we'll see how we use and what are the phenomena we use to calculate this. So you can see here is the Doppler. So Doppler is already, you know that. So everyone knew ambulance, right? So when the siren is on and it comes forward to you, and when it is leaving, you can change the difference in the sounds, right? So that is due to Doppler effect. Okay, so we'll see that. So far we dealt only with noise. In the real world, we have deal with both noise and cluster echoes. So here we can see cluster echoes. So cluster echoes is basically cluster echoes are basically uh, echoes which are like see which are created by the moving parts. Even the object is stationary, still there will be some moving parts, right? For example, let us say human body, where you are standing. That means you are not moving, but your heart is beating, right? So when a radar or a radio frequency signal hits you, it will think it will hit you, but basically what happens, you are stationary, but it won't tell you are in stationary because your heart is beating. So basically it is moving. So when it contracts, it will be a different length, and when it expands, it will be in different length. So that change will create some so that change in distance, okay, of your heart will be detected as a, like will make you as a moving target that will be detected that will be detected by the radar. Okay, but in general you are not moving, right? So basically it is giving a false data. So those echoes are actually called as clutter echoes. So clutter echoes can be mainly order of magnitudes larger than the target's echo. So those echoes have the magnitude will are the signals having an amplitude, right? So for example, a magnitude of echo that is hit a target and came back has a magnitude of 10 volts. But when the echo, the same clutter echo coming from the same target, it might be 20, 30 like that. Okay. When an aircraft echo and a clutter echo appears in the resolution, uh, same radar resolution cell, target may not be detected. So we will see why the target will not be detected. And actually what happens, the radar will be designed in such a way that these clutter records should be nullified. So what happens when this when the clutter echoes and the target echoes are similar. Mm. So coming to here, so for like we have studied that. So what happens when the cluster echo and the target echoes are same? These radars are actually designed in such a way that these cluster echoes should be nullified by a process. In that process of nullifying cluster echoes, as these two are at the same amplitude, they will get eliminated. So that's why the target will not be detected. So moving targets can be detected by taking the advantage of Doppler effect, which is the change of frequency of radar echo signal due to relative velocity between the radar and the moving target. So basically, we will consider the relative velocity here, since any if relative velocity, so between the radar and the moving target. So why it is relative velocity? Because in some cases the radars may not be fixed and the target might be will not, or all is also not fixed. So if they are moving in the same direction, same speed, the relative velocity will be zero, right? So if they are moving with different velocity, if they are moving towards each other, we'll say we'll add the velocity, will like that. If they are moving in opposite direction, we'll subtract the velocity. So in general they are taking the relative velocity. So almost all the radars used in World War II. So basically this radar concept was introduced in World War II, where the simple pulse radar that did not employ the Doppler effect was used. So it's like normal what we have studied previously without any Doppler effect. That type of radars are used in World War II. So basically this is how it will be. A radar will be there and a moving target will be there. As it is moving and the radar is at an angle, at that particular time it is at in this angle, okay, and it is moving in the v vector, right? So because of this we draw a triangle, right angle triangle. So the vector along this direction of radar is v cos theta, that is Vr, okay. So if the range of the target is r and the total number of wavelengths of lambda in number of wavelengths lambda, okay, in the wavelength lambda, basically number of waves of wavelength lambda we can say, okay. Lambda in the two-way path from radar to the target in return is 2r. So what he's saying is basically 2r by lambda. So basically what he's saying, it is 2r by lambda. He's telling number of waves that has the wavelength of lambda can be calculated using this formula 2r by lambda. Why 2r? Because we are taking the distance from the signals going from the radar to the target and target from returning from target to the radar. So 2r. So each wavelength corresponding to a phase change of 2 pi. Now each wave will have a change of 2 pi. So what is the total phase change in the two-way propagation on path is, total phase change is phi. Phi is equals to 2 pi into 2r by lambda. So 4 pi r by lambda. So this is the change, and hence the target in motion related to the radar r is changed, and hence the phase. So if the target motion is related to the radar, r is changing. So if the r changes, what happens? Phi is also changes, because as this target is moving, the distance between the radar and the r will be changing. That means it will in turn change the phase. So each phase differentiating with respect to time gives the rate of change of phase, which is the angular frequency. Omega d is equals to d phi by dt, that is equals to 4 pi by lambda, and d phi by dt, phi is already we derived 4 pi r by lambda. From that 4 pi by lambda is a constant, and that thing is changing is r, right? So dr by dt. So velocity, the rate of change of range with respect to time, vr. So we basically velocity means distance by time. Here the distance is the range between the target and the radar. So dr by dt will be considered as vr, that is the radial velocity, okay, meters per second. So basically omega d, that is the angular frequency, is d phi by dt, where 4 pi by lambda into dr by dt. This dr by dt can be written as vr, as we have seen here, okay, dr by dt. So that w omega d is equals to 4 pi by lambda into vr. So but we have c here, lambda is equals to, we can written as c by f, right? So that's we can write here. Basically it is a few. So c, this is c by lambda is equals to c by f. Similarly fd, where from this what we will do, actually we'll see this is not directly, okay. C by f, we'll see how it comes. So when you substitute here c by f, so vr by lambda. So what we are doing here, there is the term vr by lambda, right? That can be replaced by fd, okay. So that's it. So yeah, wait. So this is the angular frequency, omega d is equal to 2 pi fd. So ft is the change in frequency. We'll see the terms, okay, what and all we'll see next. Next ft is the Doppler frequency, basically, okay, difference frequency or the Doppler frequency you can call. Vr is the, okay, we substituted, and from that 2 pi by ft, right? from the above equation we can see that this WD can be written as 2 pi ft, and this ft is substituted in this above equation, and we got a relation like ft is equals to 2 vf by lambda. So we 2 into 2 pi cancel, f is 2 vr by lambda. So fd is equals to ft vr by c. Okay, so that's it. So ft is the radar frequency. Okay, we have written this in terms of radar frequency. That's why the ft is related with the fd is equal to 2ft vr, that is relative velocity by c. Here the formula is with respect to wavelength of the like we have relative velocity and the wavelength. Okay, so wait. The Doppler shift can be negative or positive depending on whether the target is receding or approaching. So as the target shift, basically when the Doppler shift can be changed, right? Because it will be different when it is approaching. When it is moving away, it will be different, because I tell you this is a relative velocity concept. So since the Doppler shift will be negative, that means it will decrease when the target is receding, that means moving away. When it will be positive, that means it will increase when the target is approaching. So this is the graph for this radio frequency knots. Okay, so radial velocity vr, in general velocity will be calculated in knots for vehicle like aircrafts and ships. Okay, and it is a unit of one of the unit of velocity for vehicles, or sorry, not vehicle, basically aircrafts and ships. So now coming to Doppler frequency h. So this is the Doppler frequency, and this is the velocity at which the target is moving. So for a W band we can see the variation is like this. Okay, for the shift, basically as the you can see the shift when the velocity is increasing, it is shift. Okay, and for a Ki band the shift is like this. Okay, like means you should coordinate like this. So for initially it is this value, this is for the same K 35 at the for a fixed 35 gigahertz. What happens when the target is moving? For example, it is initially it is some two knots. The frequencies are about 150. When for example if it is somewhere here, that is 10 radial velocity, 10 knots, the frequency is 100, but actually it is 35 gigahertz only, but it is appearing to be 1000. That's the Doppler effect. Okay, the original frequency will be remain same, but what happens, we will be seeing that the frequency is a different one. Okay, due to Doppler effect. So it is 35, but it is increasing to 1000 as the speed increases or approaching the radar. That's it. So now coming to the simple CW Doppler radar. CW means continuous wave Doppler radar, where previously we are using pulses, right? So one pulse will be sent like that. But basically what is the main difference this with the previous one is, in the previous ones we have used a transmitter and receiver as like one by one. Like when it is transmitting, it won't receive; when it is receiving, it won't transmit. So but here both will happen simultaneously. While transmitting, the receiver will receive also. Okay, so what happens, let us take a situation here. Basically here we are transmitting a signal, that is with the transmitting frequency ft, and hit a target and received back with the ft plus or minus fd, that is Doppler frequency. With that same frequency will not change, the amplitude will change, that's it. For even if you hit a target, the frequency will not change, only maybe the phase and the amplitudes might change. Okay, so along with that frequency there will be some Doppler shift is also there, no? That is the Doppler frequency shift value. Either it will add or subtract, we don't know. So ft plus or minus ft, if it will add if it is approaching the radar if it will subtract if it moving away from the target. So what happens, this frequency is entered into the circuit. As I told you, both transmission and receiving happens at the same time. Some portion of this continuous wave transmitter wave will be entering it. So how much small portion is you take from a wave, the frequency will be the same. Okay, if you take the full cycle, the frequency will not change. If you take half cycle also, the frequency will not change. The frequency remains same. So that's why even it is a transmitter leakage in the sense there will be a small portion will coming in. So that small portion will also have the frequency FT, right? So basically this is called echo signal, this is called transmitter leak. So they will go into the mixer. So from this mixer, the resultant will be going into the Doppler filter. This Doppler filter will eliminate the Doppler effect and transmit signal, and it will see that only the Doppler frequency. That means we will get an output of FD. So with this change in frequency, it can estimate how much speed the change in, with the value that he got. That is the change in frequency, that is FD. Okay, so with that FD it will determine how much speed the velocity the target is moving, coming towards or moving away. Okay, so wait, okay, so this is the Doppler frequency response of a Doppler filter. This is the frequency response of a Doppler filter. Okay, now now continuous wave radar utilizes the Doppler frequency shift to detect moving targets. That means I told you now this FD, that is the Doppler frequency shift to detect moving targets. So unlike a pulse radar, a clockwise radar transmits while it receives. So that's what it will both transmit and receive at a time. Filtering in the frequency domain is used to separate the weak Doppler echo signal from the strong transmitter signal in a continuous wave radar. So what happens, as it should transmit, that's why it will have high frequency. So the transmitter frequency will be high, so it should be eliminated. That's why when it's sent to the mixer, it will take care of that. So basically it will compare this and this, and whereas the FT component will be removed and only, and so it will come it will be deleted and it will send to the Doppler frequency. So if there is still remains same any other components, it will also be get eliminated by the Doppler frequency and only will left with FT. So so this is the what happens, and because of moving target, the receiver echo signal undergoes Doppler effect by any amount of plus or minus FT. So so because moving targets, it can be either positive change or negative change. So plus FD is the target approaching the radar, that I told. If it is a minus FD, that is target is moving away from the radar. The target leakage signal acts as a reference to determine that the frequency change has taken place. So that means actually the frequency is FT, but we are getting somewhat different value from the receiver. What we can conclude, actually it is there is some change in the transmitted signal and the received signal, the frequency of transmitted signal and the received signal. Okay, why we are only considering frequency, not the amplitude? Amplitude might be due to noise also, right? So it won't give us the accurate result. So that's why, but frequency will not be affected by noise. In the sense it will be affected, but it might be like arithmetic, either it will add or subtract. Okay, so that's what. Now coming to here, so Doppler filter allows different frequencies to detect and pass and reject higher frequencies. Only it will allow FD and rejects the and pass and reject the higher frequencies. Filter has lower frequency cutoff to remove from the receiver output and TX leakage signal and the clutter echoes. So to remove those transmitter leakage signal and the clutter echoes, the filter has low frequency cutoff. Okay, the upper frequency cutoff is determined by the maximum radial velocity expected to the moving target. Basically, it is an assumed value. The upper frequency is assumed by taking the count that how much like assuming the radial velocity of that moving target. Pulse radar extracts the Doppler frequency shift echo signal. So this is the pulse radar that extract the Doppler frequency. So what happens? So this is the power. There will be power amplifier and a power pulse modulator. So there will be a continuous oscillator. It will continuously generate a signal and it will be modulated and amplified and sent to the duplexer where the signal is transmitted. And there is a reflex and what happens? The signal is sent and now a receiver and there will be received echo from a target and it will be received by this antenna and goes to the receiver. So to be basically there in the above diagram, this part can be treated as the reference, right? So what happened, instead of taking like this, they made a direct connection so that like a reference line. Okay, instead of having a direct connection, they have used a duplexer. So it won't be passed here, that when you transmit something it won't get directly towards the receiver here, the transmitted signal. So that's why we are using some other line directly connected to the receiver, that is a reference signal. So both will be compared and when compared and sent to the Doppler filter, and the output of this Doppler filter will be the Doppler frequency shifted value. So FT here VT is the transmitted signal, Vref is the reference signal, that is the received signal, Vmixed is the mixed signal, Vd is the difference frequency. AT, that is transmitted signal amplitude, Vx is the receiver signal amplitude, AR is the amplitude of receiver signal, A mixed is the amplitude of mixed signal, and AD is the amplitude of different signal. Okay, so this is what. So you are taking a transmitted signal. Okay, transmitted signal will be like AT sine 2 pi ft into t. Then so when you take, and the received part is the signal with a round trip time tr delay. So basically it will take some time delay, right, to take to go and come back. So that is tr delay. So that's why there will be only small change with the above equation, that is first is amplitude, because the signal will get attenuated in the sense decreased. So that is AR sine 2 pi ft, and there is a delay, that is 2 minus t minus tr. So this is what we got, Vref, and A is the R0 minus VRT. Okay, so the round trip time where tr is equal to r by c, and the range is changing with respect to as R0 minus VR into t. Okay, R0 is the initial point, like it's changing, how it is changing with respect to velocity of the relative velocity of the target. So VR is the radial velocity, assume it to be constant. Let us assume that it is moving in a constant radial velocity. Okay, so V receiver will be like this, and finally what happens, now we have to add both 1 and 2 becomes, so VR is equals to VR sine this, and so mixture and extract different frequency. V reference is equal to A reference into sine 2 pi ft. So basically after all this process of mixing and extracting, we left with V reference is equals to this one, A reference into sine this. So A reference is what? That is the amplitude of reference signal. So this, right? So now mixer will, what it will do, the mixer will multiply this reference signal with the received signal, and mixer that value we have got, V mixed is what we are. So V mix is this expression. So we got finally V mix is called this big expression. So the difference frequency is extracted as Vd is equals to AD cos is extracted like this. Okay, cos minus 2 pi ft plus 2 pi ft, that so those get cancelled, and after simplification we got Vd is equals to difference frequency, that is Vd is equals to AD cos 4 pi Vr by lambda so 4 pi R naught by lambda. The Doppler frequency Ft is equals to 2 Vr by lambda. Okay, as you already know this formula Vd. Okay, and here Vd is equals to AD cos 2 pi Ft minus 4 pi R naught by lambda. So this is the final expression we got. Even the derivation is not an important thing. Those results are important. So Vd, what is Vmix, and how we are getting it. What is we received. That's what. Here these are the basic ones. So this is the difference of the Doppler frequency Fd and the difference frequency signal. The difference frequency signal is Vd, that is AD cos of 2 pi Ft minus 4 pi R naught by lambda. So the echo signal from a moving target results in a time varying output due to the Doppler shift. Okay, so basically it is a time varying output, right? And that is like AC signal, which is the basics for rejecting stationary cluster echoes, which is the basis for rejecting stationary cluster echoes with zero Doppler frequency, but allowing moving target echo to pass. Okay. So we can see these are the three diagrams. One represents the echo pulse train of and either the RF or IF portion of the receiver, and the B part represents the video pulse train after the phase detector when the Doppler shift Doppler frequency Ft is greater than 1 by tau. So this is what we see. This is a video signal or video pulse after process. Okay, process of the signal, which is usually so video pulse Doppler frequency signal is shown dash in C. Okay, in C as if it were a continuous wave. Now that the pulse in C have an exaggerated width compared to the period of the Doppler frequency. So basically after the process here, so this is so the video pulse train of the Doppler frequency Fd is less than or 1 by tau. So basically B is the video pulse when it is Ft greater than 1 by tau. Now this is the pulse when it is 1 Fd which is less than 1 by tau. Okay, so this is usually the case for aircraft surveillance radar. This is how it will come in practical radar surveillance radar. The Doppler frequency signal, so basically you can write here, so Ft greater than 1 by tau, and here Ft less than 1 by tau. Okay, so okay, so as if our condition, note that the pulse in C have an exaggerated width compared to the period of a Doppler frequency. So basically it is more than what the Doppler frequency we got. Okay. So to detect a Doppler shift on a basis of a single pulse of width tau generated requires that there may be at least one cycle of the Doppler frequency Ft within the pulse. So that is Fd should be greater than 1 by tau, or Ft tau should be greater than 1. Basically what he is saying is to have a Doppler shift Fd that is greater than Ft signal basis of a single pulse of a pulse width tau. Okay, we are sending a pulse with a pulse width of tau and we are getting a Doppler shift. So what he is saying is, in general we need at least one cycle of Doppler frequency Fd within this pulse. So when you receive, there should be at least one Doppler frequency in it. In the received signal, at least one Doppler frequency should be present. This condition is not usually met where the detecting aircraft, since the Doppler frequency Fd is generally much smaller than 1 by tau. So the transmitted signal is having a pulse width of tau that can be written as in terms of frequencies 1 by tau. but when it hit that this signal is going to hit, okay. So for example, this is the target and this is the pulse, gone and hit, okay, and come back, okay. This has a tau, that is 1 by tau is the frequency of the signal, and when it is returning it has a fd plus tau, 1 by tau basically. So or we can write this term as ft. So what happens, this ft, what happens, this fd plus fd plus ft. So what is saying, at least one component of this Doppler frequency should be present, but in general it will not the case, because this value will be very much smaller compared to ft, so that we can't identify that easily that the component is present or not, okay. So this is what we'll see in the next video, what is sweep to sweep subtraction and a relay line canceller. Thank you for watching.